Hello and welcome to the last video in the series of Romagna. This is my wine educational channel called Wine with Jimmy, where I take lots of topics or specific regions, countries, grape varieties, and talk about them to give you the information you need to enjoy wine even more. So we're going to talk here on video 5 on recent vintages of Romagna. Now, I visited the region recently and, of course, have done this deep dive into the wines of Romagna. And vintages were spanning for the most part, from about 2019 to 2023. So that's what I am going to be discussing in this video. Any comments, any questions, please do get in touch. You can do so by commenting on this video below. And make sure you click like and subscribe. Okay, so we're going to actually start with the oldest vintage out of that range, which is 2019. So here you are, 2019. Now I've got just one slide per vintage, apart from the recent 2023 vintage, where I've got much greater information. Now, 2019 was a mild and dry winter until springtime, up to April. Typically rainy and cold in May. May is typically for Romagna the month of trouble. Very hot June and then a warm summer, certainly throughout July and August, but without the peaks of previous years like 2017. The harvest period was quite long. It started with about a 10-day delay and was prolonged until the 20th of October. This generally means that there is much better physiological ripeness in the grapes, with grapes being left for a longer but gentler finish to their ripening seasons. You'll often find good colour and good structure balanced by quite high acidity in these wines. Next up is the 2020. Cold winter and spring with an alternation of rainy days and severe frost between late March and early April. That's a picture of a vineyard affected by frost. Sorry, that's actually drought in that picture. Temperatures remained low until the end of June. It started to rise in July, and then there was drought for the entire summer seasoning, requiring, wherever possible, irrigation. Harvest was averagely early and presented a decrease because of the drought, but the leftover grapes were very healthy and of excellent quality. The 2020, according to the Consorzio, is set to be remembered as one of the most beautiful for its concentration and balance, but there are lower production numbers of the 2021, a mild spring and for temperature and rainfall, a dry and hot summer with regular ripening and harvest, so quite textbook so far. A little less quantity compared to 2020, and it really is a vintage that's said to be quite textbook, quite classic for Romagna. So in the reds, decent structure, balanced with good acidity, fairly good concentration, and Albanas with their typicity as well. 2022 is the driest year since 1800 and very, very warm. Winter had very little rainfall and with high temperatures, which led to very early bud burst. In spring, temperatures stayed between 10 and 15 degrees C for a long time, with slow vegetative development, but with no frost. Early May, rainfall comes, as it always does, and temperatures rise, and that accelerated the growth significantly. Compared to 2021, the flowering and the fruit set phase was faster. That occurred about a week before 2021. And veraison colour change was in mid-July, and 2022 was in kind of in line with 2021 in terms of production. 2023 is a year of extremities. It will be known as the year of May floods. It was overall less dry than 2022, and those rainfalls were concentrated in May. The warm and dry winter resulted in that early bud burst. Cold came in March and April. There was a frost on April the 6th. And then we had rain, the 1st to the 3rd of May and the 16th to the 18th of May. The accumulated rainfall was up to 500 millimeters, and that caused flooding and landslides, certainly in areas like Modigliana, for example. But then the temperatures rose and water availability, which of course was very significant, led to extreme vigor in the vineyards. And that led to sparse cluster formation. Work in the vineyards was very important to desucker and also to cut back any excess leaf canopy. There was actually less health problems in this vintage, despite the excessive rain in May. But there was problems with esca, which is grape trunk disease. Now, we had a vintage which was lower in volume because of the problems of the flooding and, of course, areas with landslides, for example. But there was quite a quick end to the season. So August and September was exceptionally hot and sunny, which meant that grapes that were left, of course, were ripening very, very well. And that's what we say just here. So the return of cold in May slowed down the phases of growth, but the August and September accelerated that ripening. The rainfall in May created roots to explore capacity for dryness. So in fact, some supplemental irrigation was actually necessary, crazily. The grapes arrived at the cellar around 1 to 2 weeks later than 2022, and overall in good health and good balance. pHs were not too high. Acidity was actually quite decent. Slightly lower alcohol concentration than 2022, leading to wines which are more aromatically found, more profound on the nose, with good acidities. Okay, well, that brings me to the end of the whole of the Romagna videos. I do hope you've enjoyed my deep dive in this lesser-known area of Italy. If you do have any comments or questions, you know what to do. You can pose your question. You can put your comment down in the comments section below this video. It'd be great to hear from you. Perhaps you've been here. What's the gastronomy you like? What are the wines you like? And so on. But until next time, I've been Jimmy Smith. Ciao for now. Goodbye.